Small and medium-sized enterprises are an important vehicle to address the challenge of job creation, sustainable economic growth, equitable distribution of income, and the overall stimulation of economic development in a country. While there are a few small businesses in a broad range of industries that perform well and are continuously profitable, a larger portion of small businesses in Cameroon die before 5 years.
At the moment, many of them are complaining about taxation. Why can't the government give exoneration of at least 5 years of tax when you've started, or a company like that you've started? You don't need to start a company and having it status every month or every 6 months or every year. The tax people are behind you, stressing you to pay tax. So I think these are areas that the government should have in place in making sure that this taxation to support small and medium enterprises, they have to get exoneration.
According to the 2016 statistics from the National Institute of Statistics, the most common reasons small businesses fail in Cameroon include taxation, administrative bottlenecks, lack of capital or funding, lack of opportunities, corruption, and insufficient energy and water. However, these external factors are not the only reason for the failure of small businesses. In part 3 of this docu-series on why small businesses die in Cameroon, our focus will be on internal factors that are very much ignored but also contribute greatly to the failure of small businesses. According to a study by Temptin and Pansiri in 2004, businesses fail because of factors related to marketing such as lack of market research, ineffective demand forecasting and analysis, bad customer service, just to name but a few. We visited some small business owners to find out some of the internal factors that hinder the growth of their businesses.
La difficulté généralement que je retrouve dans ma petite structure, c'est le système de gestion. Je n'ai pas un bon système de gestion. Si j'avais peut-être une application qui pouvait m'aider à gérer toute la structure, ça devait vraiment m'aider. La seconde difficulté que j'éprouve ici, c'est également le vol. Parce que j'ai un personnel, généralement, quand ils font des copies comme ça, tu ne peux pas contrôler. Donc il n'y a pas un contrôle général. Et la troisième difficulté, c'est le personnel qui n'est pas qualifié. Je sais, avec le coût du marché, le personnel n'étant pas qualifié, on est obligé de prendre le personnel moins cher et on n'a pas de rendement. Voilà un peu les trois grandes difficultés que j'éprouve dans mon activité ici.
Selon moi, les problèmes de faillite internes, les problèmes internes, les causes internes sont, je peux citer premièrement d'abord la mauvaise gestion du chef d'entreprise, c'est-à-dire peut-être il vient puiser dans les caisses de l'entreprise pour ses fins personnelles. Et on peut aussi citer peut-être le mauvais emplacement. Supposez peut-être vous êtes retiré de la ville, vous voyez que l'activité que vous voudrez faire ne peut pas bien donner. On peut aussi citer peut-être l'accueil des clients. Si un client arrive, vous le recevez mal, vous convenez avec moi que la prochaine fois, il ne va plus venir dans votre entreprise. Et quatrièmement, on peut citer aussi, supposons il y a des problèmes, des petits problèmes dans l'entreprise, peut-être une machine se gâte et on n'est pas en disposition des fonds là maintenant. Vous voyez que ça va aussi faire en sorte que le client va toujours partir et ne plus revenir. Imaginez le problème persiste, peut-être si une machine se gâte maintenant, il fait 2 mois pour la réparation, ça ne peut pas donner. Et enfin, on peut citer aussi le cumul des fonctions, c'est-à-dire si comme on dirait un secrétaire, tu choisis une seule personne, c'est elle la caissière, c'est elle qui fait tout. Ou est-ce qu'il y aura des clients, mais ils ne seront pas satisfaits puisqu'elle sera très chargée. Donc le boss, le chef d'entreprise doit, s'il faut dire, répartir les tâches pour cela, pour qu'il y ait pour le bon fonctionnement de l'entreprise, pour que l'entreprise n'entre pas en faillite. C'est bon, merci.
Lack of training and bad business planning has also been identified as one of the reasons for the failure of small businesses in Cameroon. Very often, unqualified staff are employed by many small business owners so as to offer them lower pay rates. Tribalism is another common cause for the failure of small businesses. Business owners tend to employ their family members or tribesmen, whether qualified or not, in roles they have little or no experience handling. The consequence of this is usually low performance and a crumbling business. We made a brief stop at Agro-Perme to get the views of an experienced small business consultant who has for several years been dealing with small businesses. We wanted to have an insight on some of the internal factors he has noticed that cause small businesses to die in Cameroon.
You must first have experience in running the company, knowing the problem that the company internally is facing, and restructuring the company. You cannot just talk because you have a degree, bachelor, PhD in management. You come to say you can structure or assist sustainable company to stand and be sustainable. You need people that have experience, both in the field and both in theory, that can put in place. And such skills are lacking in Cameroon. If big company or small business were having a big company to mentor, as mentor, guiding them, giving them effort, that can also help. But this big company, they see small enterprises as burden. So they don't know that for corporate social responsibility, this is part of thing that we should have. For me, having a general manager of MTN taking a small company for his shoulder and saying that, okay, or small, I'm going to assist you, not financially, but advice, oriented, support, type of support. I think if we have many companies in Cameroon, we have also a chance that these companies are going to be successful. I think if you have good structure that are supporting the small and medium enterprises, you'll succeed. So these are the areas that people should look at.
The irresponsibility of some small business owners who often confuse company accounts with their personal accounts is another common factor for the failure of small businesses in Cameroon. Eventually, the available money that could be used for reinvestment purpose is then used for personal issues. We encountered another small business owner who shared with us some of the internal problems she has faced in her business and how she was able to overcome these problems.
Not every business person is a trained accountant. So we manage in our own way just to make things move. At least we use our own knowledge. So with business, you have to take your stock. You have to always check on your sales, check on the leftovers, then your expenditures and everything before you see whether you are actually doing business or not. Yes. Sometimes it's not going until a particular period of time. I started my business in 2013.
Okay. So that's 7 years now because it's 2020.
And I started somewhere, not where I am.
Okay.
Yes. So I've been there managing with my issues and so on. So it's been 3 years that I entered this place. That I actually had a place, but I was doing the business just at home, up.
Okay.
So I had to start thinking, at least how will I start with my workers. And sometimes to have people who are trustworthy is not easy. It's not always easy to come by. And I even started with my own children. And along the line, I said, it's not good when you take a business and you start with family relation, they will never understand. Sometimes if there is a fault, if you have to shout at them or correct them, they will take it the other way around. They won't understand that with business, there are rules and regulations. One thing too is that the first thing, you have to pay your workers well. Because if you don't pay the workers well, it's also a problem. And sometimes, even if you no matter how you try as much as possible to pay your workers, some of them will always want to add one or to pick behind and add. That maybe if I'm paying you on a salary of 40,000 and maybe you were expecting 50, we have to start somewhere and see how it is moving. So that's how I do. When it comes to theft is also one problem, because sometimes I may be selling an article for I would tell a customer, that's my worker, to sell an article for 1,000 francs. And maybe since I'm not around, he may want to add something to it. And with time, customers will feel like, how can this article be that is being sold at 1,000 francs somewhere and here is at maybe 2,500? That's already a problem, because they will feel that you are selling very expensive. You know, with marketing, before you market at a certain level, you must have stock up to a certain standard, so that at any time you are ready to supply, that's to satisfy the customer's needs.
From our interviews with many small business owners around the capital city, Yaoundé, we realize that many small businesses have no accountability in their business. They do not have a clear-cut way to track and monitor their expenses and activities. Consequently, the businesses are bound to fail.
On pourrait dire que les petites entreprises ne marchent pas au Cameroun parce que pour pouvoir repartir ça sur deux plans. Le premier plan, nous pouvons parler des employés qui sont généralement pas très sérieux lorsqu'ils sont mal payés et puis ils se mettent à faire du n'importe quoi dans le travail. Et puis nous avons aussi l'autre plan, nous pouvons parler du patron. Les patrons généralement aussi ne sont pas souvent sérieux lorsqu'ils trouvent les employés, ils font les abus de service et tout ça. Déjà, ils payent mal les employés font des heures supplémentaires, mais ils ne sont pas payés et tout ça. Bon, ça est, ce qui entraîne généralement la chute des petites entreprises au Cameroun.
When it comes to the success of any small business, the business owner is ultimately the secret to the success of that business. Small business owners need to have a clear-cut vision of their purpose and mission. Armed with drive, determination, and a positive mindset, they view any setbacks as an opportunity to learn and to grow. This, alongside favorable government policies and an organized internal setup, will contribute greatly to making small businesses last longer in Cameroon.